again this morning. I hope that you had a good weekend.
Yes.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You must usher in the happiness, the spring, and everything.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Because remember, last week's discussion was about being positive. Surrounding yourself with positive people, thinking happy thoughts. You know, mind over matter.
Yes. Yes.
Getting unstuck from being stuck in the bad negative thoughts of, oh, this is so terrible, oh, this is going wrong, oh. Now we're moving into positivity. Yes, a bad thing will happen, but how do we overcome it?
Yes.
Mind over matter. How do we get past this bad issue? We think of solutions. We think of, okay, this happened, so what can we do about it? How can we move forward? What can we think? Don't get stuck in the situation. Think past the situation. Because we are created intelligent beings. And we need to think that way. We are intelligent. Exercise the brain. The brain is a muscle. So we need to exercise it. We need to exercise with positive, happy, can-do attitude thoughts. Okay, so that was last week's recap of where we were, setting your goals, life throwing curveballs, but what do you do to get to your goal? So remember, if you are not practicing it, if you are not having that type of thought process, you can't be telling the children they must have it. Because then what are you speaking about? And then you're being a hypocrite. Because you're not practicing what you preach. So in order to properly educate, uplift and empower the children, you need to practice it in your daily life. Because as you can see, this whole course is about personal development. Not just the children, but you as well. Because if you don't grow and learn from it, then it's pointless. Then you helping them is pointless. Because if you can't instill in them what you have in you, then why are you doing it? You know? So it starts with you, it starts with me. Like I said, even myself, when I started this, I was not where I am today. I was not aware of a lot of things. I've learned so much by doing this course. I've grown so much, and it's really helped me a lot. Develop mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because it's all linked. Remember, everything
is a lot.
Okay, so we are now going to do session 6, activity 19, understanding my strengths and weaknesses. So in order to, you've now moved past getting stuck, it's now mind over matter. Now you need to identify within yourself what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses for when those issues happen. So when I get stuck, what can I rely on or go to within myself to help myself get unstuck? Or what do I know are my weaknesses when issues come that get me stuck, to stay away from, or to avoid, or to counteract with my positive strengths? Okay. So the aim here is to identify your specific strengths and weaknesses. It will be 30 minutes. So step 1 will be a discussion, which will be the first 20 minutes. So you need to instruct the participants to think about 5 things that they are good at. These are their strengths, and you need to ask them to write these down in their workbooks. So this is going to be a lot of thought-provoking things. So you're going to have to explain a lot of these things because they might not understand. Okay, so you need to encourage them to take time to think more about their strengths. You can say, it's good to be aware of your strengths so that you can build on them and remind yourself of your value. So again, start with yourself. Think what do you need to be encouraged to think positively, to get unstuck, to think about what are your good traits that you can help others with. So then you encourage them in that way, and you can give them this example or others that you think about. So they need to think about what are their good strengths, how can they build on it, how can those strengths add value to their life, and how can it add value to someone else's life. Because remember, the whole aim of this is to help others, but you can't help others if you are still stuck and broken. So they need to remind themselves of these strengths and the value that they can bring to people and to themselves. So read out the other strengths listed below and ask each participant to pick 5 things that describe his or her strengths. Ask how your strengths can help you to avoid teenage and unplanned parenting and contracting HIV. So there's 2 things they need to do. They need to pick 5 strengths and then describe the strengths. Each one must do that. And then they need to see how can those strengths help them avoid teenage pregnancy, unplanned pregnancy, or contracting HIV, which all basically starts with sex. So what are their sexual choices and behaviors that they can use their positive strengths for to make proper decisions about? Okay, so you as the facilitator, participants may not understand what all the words in the table mean. So encourage them to ask if they don't understand what a word means. And then they can add these strengths to the list in their workbooks and remind them to be honest. So you need to, like we keep saying, encourage them, motivate them, give positive pep talks while you are busy. Make them understand that they need to feel comfortable, but they also need to be honest about what strengths they feel is relevant to them. And there's nothing wrong if they don't understand. There's nothing wrong if you don't understand. If you don't, and that's why preparation is important. So if you don't, as you are busy setting up the workshops, if you don't understand something, go and research so that you can be prepared in your mind, in your person, to be able to help them should they ask the question. But also you need to understand the content thoroughly in order to help them better. Because they might come up with weird and wonderful questions you never thought of, you never dreamed of, it never came up in any of this material. So you need to be prepared should something like that happen. You know, you need to, you need to be prepared. That is the main thing. Because again, should anything happen, you must be ready to jump to plan B, plan C. Or if their discussion goes on a tangent, yes, it might take away from the actual workshop, but what is the purpose of this whole thing? Yes, it's to do the workshop, but it's also mainly to grow them, to encourage them, to uplift them, to help them set positive goals, to help them change their mindsets into positive mindset so that they can go into the community and spread that positivity and encourage others, you know. And so then there's a knock-off effect where if I tell you and you tell your friends and they tell their friends, that's a whole lot of mind-changing, mind-setting positivity going on, you know. So it's one seed can grow a forest. So imagine what you can do with one seed of positivity, one seed of encouragement, one seed of knowledge. You can change a whole community. But even if you just change one person's life, that one person can have such an amazing impact on, you know, because I always tell you all these famous people, these people that have achieved those types of people, they all have a story of having to overcome hardship hardships, struggles, and most of the struggles start in your mind. Because yes, it might manifest on the outside. You have no money, you have all these social, economic problems, but you need to overcome it in your mind. You must say, I'm not going to let this get to me. I'm not going to let it impact or stop me from getting to that chair that is the goal. Because remember the game that we are supposed to play with them is problems come in front of you while you are moving towards your goal. So that's life. Problems will come in front of you, but how do you overcome it? And when you overcome, you can achieve greatness. So keep on reminding them of that. And in order to do that, those building blocks, they need to understand in themselves what is positive about me. What traits do I have that is positive? So remember the very first workshops was all about self-identity, your personality traits, your talents, whether it's looks or what you can do or how you are. Those all impact and build who you are. So now they need to identify within themselves what are those positive traits mentally and personality-wise that they can now build on and start using in situations like teenage pregnancy and preventing HIV. So you see, it's a building block, but it impacts so much of your life if you use it correctly. Okay, so this is the chart of my strengths. So you get honesty, kindness, creativity, friendliness, helpfulness, humor, cheerfulness, considerate, encouragement, wisdom, knowledge, memory, originality, love of learning, courageousness, curiosity, perseverance, always taking responsibility, critical thinking, loving, hardworking, open-mindedness, generosity, compassion, loyalty, doing good deeds, forgiving, humility, appreciation of beauty, modesty, fairness, merciful, bravery, gratitude, playful in making people smile, integrity, optimistic, spiritual with strong beliefs, persistence, sense of purpose, value, justice, good communication, leader, hopeful, decisive. Okay, so these are very, very strong words. Each one means a lot. Each one you can give a whole story on. So you need to try and explain most of these briefly if you can. They need to then choose 5 of these that they feel they have, right? And they need to write it in their workbooks. But they also then, those that they choose, they then need to see how can I use those traits to prevent teenage pregnancy and HIV, or unplanned parenthood and HIV. So I want you guys now to each choose 5 of these and explain how you would use that in preventing pregnancy or HIV. Just off the top of your head. But also before you do that with them, when you explain it, use practical examples. Okay? So for example, always taking responsibility. What does that mean? If I make a decision or I do something that has a negative or a positive effect, most times negative, am I big enough to take responsibility for what my actions cause? If I drive recklessly and I just speed past somebody and that causes them to have to stop dead brakes and then the person behind them goes into them, are you going to continue to just speed away? Or are you going to actually take responsibility because actually you caused that situation? And most times we tend to just run away because it's like, I wasn't physically involved, so I'm just gonna go. But actually you caused all of this, which has serious impacts for those people. Maybe somebody got hurt. Maybe the car's a write-off. Maybe the person is unemployed and they really can't afford to fix the car. Maybe that car is that person's only way to work, and now it's broken. So the ripple effect is so bad that you caused and you just ran away. So taking responsibility is a very serious thing. Being considerate is also a very serious thing, because in that moment, were you considerate of the people that you were affecting when you were doing your own thing and speeding and causing the accident? No, you were being selfish because you were doing what you wanted to do. You weren't considering what the impact of your speeding might have on somebody else. So all these words can be linked to a situation, you know. If, for example, okay, not to every situation, but I mean most of them can be linked to one or other situation. So for example, if I said some unkind words to you because I'm angry, I had a very bad weekend, I had a very bad experience, and now you come in here and I start scolding you, like, who do you think you are to come and waste my time? My time is precious. I don't stand for this type of nonsense. This is unacceptable. And I go on and on and on, you know, telling you your fortune and you this and you that. But I don't know the story behind why you are late. There could be a serious story, like your husband could have had a heart attack or something, you know. You could have had serious problems coming here. Like maybe there was an accident because somebody was speeding and being inconsiderate, and now you are the person that knocked into somebody else because they stopped, like, you know, dead in their tracks. And now the ripple effect is that your car is now dented and it took you an extra hour and a half to get here, and now you're worried about the repercussions and how much it's going to cost, and I'm still going on and on and on about, yeah, you are so inconsiderate and blah, 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 and I don't even know what your story is, you know? So, am I considerate? Am I being loving? Am I being wise in going off on a tangent because I'm upset? Now you imposed on me and my time, but what would be the wise thing to do?
To listen and ask.
Exactly. First find out why you were late. What was the situation before I can go on and say, look, yeah, we need to, I'm being open-minded now. We need to, I heard your side of the story. That makes a lot of sense, and I'm really sorry about what you had to go through and the knock-off effects, the repercussions that you are now going to be stuck with. But let's look at our building blocks that we learned before. Are we going to let those things, those stumbling blocks in life stop us? Or are we going to try and have a positive attitude? Try and think, okay, this happened, what can I do now? How can I get around this? What can I do in a positive way about this situation? I can let it depress me and woe is me and get me down, or I can think, okay, let me contact a my insurance and see what are the ways there. If it's going to be too expensive, can I maybe find somebody that can fix it without insurance? Do I have enough money? You know, look at different ways to solve your problem. So maybe now you're telling me this is what happened. Now we say, okay, let's now think about what are the positive things that for you we can assist you with in thinking out the problem process. Right? Now I'm being open-minded, I'm being kind, I'm being humble, because now I'm putting myself aside for your issue. I'm being wise, I'm encouraging you, I'm being considerate. What else? I'm being fair, I'm being merciful, forgiving, because you did, you were supposed
Now the
to.
strength is coming out.
You know? So automatically with one issue, you can somehow see how my attitude and your attitude together, if we just change our mindset, can change and touch on so many different things. Maybe we can even make some jokes out of it to make it not so intense and serious and it weigh us down, you know, make it lighthearted or something. And then, you know, that whole thing. And then I say, okay, I understand. These things happen. Life happens. It is unfortunate. So let's just try next time to do better or whatever the case may be. But that's life. We need to now move past it. Time is gone, but let's see what we can do to make up the time, so that we can still get as much information in the time allocated to us, you know? So now we become hopeful, because now you're not stressed and depressed because of my attitude towards you. Now you feel relieved, and you know, it's like this past week was a really tough week. Last week was bittersweet. It was really good and really bad at the same time. You know, and I had one customer and life was just like, there was so many problems and I couldn't like do what I needed to do to make the customer, you know, happy, even though I didn't have to do all that. But then the customer was like on my case, and I'm the customer, and you know, pulling that card, you must do this and you must do that, and actually I didn't have to, but anyway, so and I tried to make a way, and then there was a problem with the whole thing, and then I could have gone and bitched and moaned and said no, but these are my rules of my business and it is what it is. Accept it or don't, whatever. But because I don't like my customers to be unhappy, I had to humble myself. Yes, and I had to say, you know what, I'm really sorry. I dropped the ball because life, and I was really busy and was having just a really hard time. And so it is all my fault, and I humbly apologize. And automatically, the customer's attitude just changed. They were now, oh shame, okay, no, it's fine, I understand. And then I felt so relieved, because I was so stressed because of how this customer was reacting, and this customer was making me so angry and depressed at the same time, and like I was really on an emotional roller coaster because of how this customer was going on. But because I humbled myself and said, I was wrong, I'm sorry, their attitude changed, because they saw I actually had a serious problem in the situation, and I admitted to the fact that it was on me, I was wrong. Their attitude changed, and because of that, it made me feel relief. And I was so grateful, and I thanked them for being kind about the situation. And then they were like, no, it's fine. And then the problem was sorted, because we both humbled ourselves and were kind and were understanding, instead of bitching and moaning and this is my right and how dare you and you need to do this because that's what you're supposed to do and that's what I'm paying for. And so your attitude towards a situation can seriously make or break the situation or give a very positive outcome, you know? So your attitude and your mindset towards a problem and how you react and respond to people says a lot. It also helps the situation a lot, you know? So when something happens, think of, don't just immediately jump to the negative. Try to think of the positive. How can I better overcome the situation? Am I at fault? Because that is also another thing that we need to ask. We don't want to hear that we are wrong, ever. That's just human nature. You don't want people to tell you, oh, but you did wrong. Oh, but you did this wrong. Oh, but you're wrong here. Some people just don't care. They're like, whatever. But some of us do care, and we don't want to hear that we're wrong. But when we are wrong, what do we do about it? Do we admit to being wrong? Do we humble ourselves? Are we forgiving? With humility comes courage and bravery to admit that you are wrong and to do something positive about being wrong. Because we don't like to do that. We don't want to make ourselves small for the situation because that's beneath me. I will not do that. But sometimes, is that maybe what the situation needs? Is it maybe what the situation needs to make me grow? I also had another situation this past week where I was like stabbed in the back and I was angry and hurt and I was like, how could I want revenge? You know, this is just wrong. How can they do that to me? We're supposed to be friends and whatever, and I'm gonna get you back. But I had to think, why are my feelings so very strong and angry? Did they do me wrong? Yes. But the Lord also says, vengeance is mine. So it's not for me to now want to retaliate and do wrong. But actually, why am I so angry? So we need to look at the root of the problem. Why am I angry? Because I have too much pride. There's just too much of me going on. Instead of, when they do wrong, can they see Jesus in me? Or any of these character traits coming out in the situation to maybe make it better? Because your attitude initially about the situation also determines how you feel about the situation afterwards. And when I looked and did introspection and thought, you know what? Yes,
So interesting today.
it's very wrong. Yes, I was done wrong. I'm the victim. I can play the victim. And woe is me, and now everything else that happens is because of that, and blame everything on that. Or I can say, yes, it happened. Yes, they were wrong. I'm leaving them to God, and we just move on. And we focus on other things and other positive things, and we just walk away from the situation. Because once again, should we surround ourselves with negative people? No. So now that person has shown their true colors to me. It's painful that I'll have to lose them as a friend, but my life is clearly better without them. So we move on.
We move on.
We move on, and we surround ourselves with positive people. People that uplift us, people that encourage us, people that strengthen us. People that give us honesty.
Honest opinion.
Wisdom. Critical thinking. Courage. What is critical thinking?
That there are some People say, but someone would say.
Yes, and saying stuff that you don't want to hear. You know, this is the situation, and Cindy, actually, but you are wrong. I'm your friend, but right now you are wrong. These are your options. What are you gonna do? I don't want to hear that. I want to hear, yes, how could they do that to you? This is wrong, blah, blah, blah. You know, just, yeah, now everything's going to go wrong because of that. And that's what I want. That's what I want from my friends, but is it what I need to hear? When actually I need to hear,
Look.
why did
Both
this
sides.
situation happen? Exactly,
both
with
sides.
both sides. Why did this situation happen? Because of what you did there. And these are the repercussions.
Yes.
So think back to what you did wrong and your attitude.
And why did that person do that?
Exactly, why did that person react in that way? Is it your character traits that caused them to? So now I need to now do introspection that I don't want to do because this person did me wrong.
I
But
was also
actually-
there this week.
It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't your fault.
Maybe it wasn't my fault, but maybe there's things about me that need some changing, that affect other people negatively, you know? So you need those types of people in your life to make you see the truth for what it is, not what you want it to be. Because yes, we want people that support us and encourage us and uplift us, but we also need people that are knowledgeable and that are fair, that have integrity, justice, humility, open-minded, and most importantly, critical thinking. So it's not just to have positive people, but it's to have honest, positive people. Are they going to tell me what I want to hear? Or are they going to tell me what I need to hear?
Sides.
You know, that's the type of people that you need in your life. People that will set you straight when you are wrong. When you were the cause of problems, well, they tell you you were the cause of problems.
Exactly my point.
So that's the type of people that you need to surround yourself with. And this is how you need to explain this to them. Take them through the different words, give short little explanations and stories, and then ask them to come up with, what was it, 5 of these character traits that they feel they have. And how can they use it for unplanned pregnancy or to avoid unplanned pregnancy and HIV. But also, they need to see how can they use this in their lives. They need to understand how these traits individually grow you as a person, strengthen you as a person, make you a better person, just by thinking along these lines. And all of these are positive traits. None of it is negative. But they can change a negative into a positive. It all depends on how you choose to think about something. So now each one, I want you to just give me two traits that you think you have and an example. Like I gave a few examples now. Give me something like that.
Okay. Cheerfulness and friendliness. That it was happening this week. That was the 2 strengths that was coming out on Thursday. The CCW, Nombeko's favorite CCW, feel I have to drop a client's copy. A client's copy at that client's address. But you, as the CCW, are going to do nothing today. Nothing. I am still going to attend the support group. I'm going to give this to you because you said tonight, just make a copy for this client. That's all. I did it Monday, so when I see you, I'm gonna give it to you. And I was like cheerful, like friendly, like hello, yes, yeah. Huh? 5 minutes later, tring, my father is calling me. I'm on the end too. This girl is just sending now this message stating, oh, I was so angry and I was sharing my mind and all this negative stuff. And I was just driving and I say, that's mother.
Oh.
And I was like, in the car. I was like swearing and I was with this woman right now. She was laughing at me and she was just cheerful and it was joking around, and 5 minutes later, all hell broke loose. And then I was going to the support group and then I sit there and I look at the ladies. I said to myself, I learned something Monday, positively. Don't just, I say, ladies, I will just take a break and I come back. Outside, I changed my mind. I say, hey, moet nou vir jouself regel, maar hier gaan nou 'n party, hier moet nou iets gebeur, want sy kom nou met die jou negatief, hierin gaan nie werk nie, want nou sit ek nou nie, toe gaan ek uit, then I get out, get in, then I say, Auntie Bear, let me take over, then I start, and then the woman was like, wow, next week, we are all coming, we are inviting the others, because we're not gonna miss out, you just give us this energy inside. I was just talking my nonsense now because I was having a bad day just now. But I'm coming here to give you this positive thing. It's not about me, it's about you. We must build each other up. And then I was like, Jesus, on a Monday we are getting the tool for the whole week. So yeah, thank you. Yeah,
That is an amazing story, and that just shows how by changing your attitude, you can impact other people in a positive way, so much better.
And Thursday, I have to go back to that favorite CCW to go and drop food parcel there. What I did, it was raining, stormy. I said, Erica, get out, get this food parcel. I was sitting. I hear from the doorway, hello, today. I said, the music, club art. Now, I get the message. I say, no, I don't go there. Jesus wants us to be forgiven, and Jesus don't want that. Jesus don't want that. You are a person, you must just say, Junai, please forgive me when I reacted. Maybe I was just, in that moment, I was just snap. But forgive me. Come to me. Don't write the message. I'm there. And then I was like, okay. And then I tell Tabisa and Erica, and I said, guys, I'm just gonna abstain. But I'm not gonna talk anything there anymore because
you're cutting that negativity
out. And I keep it like that. But thank you for the tools to embrace, make me stand up and have boundaries. Don't let people get over you.
Because you teach people how to treat you.
Exactly. Thank you, Sandy. I love it.
I'm glad that it had a positive impact on you. Can you remember that? What words speak to you and your strength?
Of course, is a hardworking.
Hardworking.
There's a lot of things that you need to learn from hardworking.
True.
Hardworking is about getting money so that you can achieve that. You can do the other ways that you can achieve that one without having money. Just keep working hard, then go through.
That is very true. Hard work, being a hard worker is one of the best tools that you can have as a person. Because just by that, being hardworking. It speaks to so many other character strengths that will come out through your hard work. People can see your integrity. People can see your bravery, your humility, your loyalty, your critical thinking. People can see your perseverance, your knowledge, your wisdom, your considerateness. People can see you take responsibility, gratitude, fairness, optimistic. So just by one, it can touch so many others, and the same with everything else. One can touch so many others. So they feed off each other and they speak to each other. And these are the type of people we must aspire to be. We must try to have these strengths in our thinking, in our attitudes, in how we interact with people, in our everyday situations. Because as you know, I mean, as you experience, just a 5-minute conversation can speak a lot about these strengths. And people can either leave you encouraged or discouraged, angry or positive. It's up to you and how you choose to handle the situation. Because the main focus now is, I'm a queen, I'm everything, you know, who are you to come and dictate to me? Who are you to tell me? But actually, is that a positive trait? Or is it selfish? Because now you have this attitude towards the person, and you come with that attitude, and automatically that person's thingies go up. You know, red flags, whatever, and they somehow have this dislike towards you immediately, and now they also have attitude towards you because just this attitude that you exude. And then the whole thing just goes south from there because of simple attitudes. And you didn't even talk it. But there's already a dislike and a vengeance and a unhappiness and a, you know, and why? And those feelings weigh on your soul, they weigh on your mind, they just cause unpleasantness, and you don't want to go into such a situation, and you know, it just makes life harder, and life is already so hard. So why? What does it hurt to just be kind, to just be nice to somebody? If you got put in petrol at the petrol station, what does it cost you to look at the person's name tag who is helping you and call them by their name and say, thank you, Andile, such great service, continue doing a good job. That can make or break that person for the day. But now if you come and you're like, oh, you didn't do this, and why didn't you check that, and come with attitude, that can spoil their whole day. And they're serving you. The least you can do is show appreciation in the guy. So these character traits is not just with work and how you deal with work situations. It's in everyday life. It's in everybody who passes, who crosses your path. And they need to understand that. Because if they are kind in their home, it can automatically change the vibes. I mean, you know, if your mother or father is angry and they're giving off this vehemence, this anger, you must now tippy-toe around them and walk on eggshells, and then the whole atmosphere is tense and not liquor, and then you don't want to be at home because it's not pleasant, it's not welcoming. And so that's why a lot of people don't want to be at home. Now they make wrong choices just because of how it is at home. Instead of, sometimes you have nothing tangibly. You don't have money, you don't have whatever, but you're kind and you're loving, and it creates a happy environment within the house. Those children will be happy, they will be positive, they step out in the house, and whoever they interact with, they'll be happy, kind, and then that leaves, or at least as a knock-off effect to the people that those people come in contact with. So it's a ripple effect. like you said, you went outside, you decided to change your mind, you came back in with positivity, and what was the feedback afterwards?
Good.
Good. They were encouraged. They were hopeful. They wanted to come back for more. They wanted to go get more people to bring, because they wanted to share that experience and feeling with other people. All because you decided to be positive. So, mindset over matter, over a situation, really does help a lot. But even if you have to give someone a talking to because they did wrong, if you're going to be the critical thinker, or you need to make somebody understand what they did was wrong, how do you do it? Do you do it rudely, in a demeaning way, by saying, yeah, you were no good and you this and you that? Or can you just kindly speak to them and say, look, we need to just address a little situation. You know, in this instance, you didn't really do what you were supposed to do. So maybe next time try and do this, do that, do it a little better. I expect a little more from you because you are a wonderful person or whatever. Try and speak to the person's strengths so that they can see they are more than just their faults or their problems. Try not to jump or hop on, you're so pathetic, you did so wrong, blah blah blah. You're breaking the person down. Yes, what they did was wrong, but help them understand they can use their other strengths to make it better, to do better next time. And so that's how a good leader is. Encourage and uplift those that you work with, those that are under you, those that are above you. Be kind. Kindness goes a long way. Kindness then speaks to a whole lot of other stuff. They can then see you considerate. You are wise. You are fair. You have humility. So, your attitude in any situation really determines a lot of things and can branch off into a lot of positive attributes just by starting off with one positive thought, one positive action. So it really is mind over matter. And even if you have to take very long, even if this is all you do for the workshop, going through these things, letting them speak, because yes, they're supposed to write it in their books, but if they feel they want to talk about it, then talk about it, because it's about growing them. It's about uplifting them and helping them understand these are the attributes they need to aspire to. And when they try and incorporate this into the everyday thinking process, everyday lifestyle, everyday choices, they will then see a positive effect. So instead of having a downward spiral of the negativity of life and just woe is me, have an upward spiral. Think positively. Yes, the bad thing happened, but what can we do differently? How can we rise above it? How can we get around this problem and not be stuck, but move towards our goals, move towards what we want to achieve in life? Just basically being a better person, in essence. So, it starts with you. You need to try and incorporate this in your everyday thinking, in your everyday interactions with people. Because what's the point? We went through all of this, but it didn't change you. And how does something change you? By how you act next time, by how you think next time. That's how change happens. Actions and deeds.
So, when I see her again, okay, I will not give her a piece of my mind. I will be more kind. I will go is be actually kind. and then say address the situation, but in a calm way, with Erica, witness the way, and then
Yes, because remember,
because if I'm gonna keep it like this, then it's gonna always be
because
around.
you're working with this, so you have to get a solution to this problem.
Okay.
You need to make her understand it was wrong, and you're not going to tolerate it going forward, but in a positive, nice way.
And encourage her also.
Because unfortunately, you can't just walk away from the situation. You work with her. So you need to look for ways of, better ways of working. You don't need to interact per se, but you can be civil and kind. And you can make her understand, this is what I don't tolerate. This is what I don't stand for. So, those are my boundaries and rules. Because remember, a ship cannot sink unless the water gets into it. So you cannot sink and go down a negative spiral unless you allow the actions to get into your mind. Unless you allow what they say to affect you. Because remember, there's that thing that I told you about. If I swear at you and whatever in causa, you're just gonna like, what does this girl say? And it's not gonna affect you. But I could have been telling you your master day and day, and you know, I could have really been telling you your fortune. But if you understood causa and you let what I said affect you, then you must want to get upset and someone want to come and fight with me and whatever. Because of allowing the words to mean something to you. You have power over that. You can allow the words to mean something to you. It will then cause you to react. And then how you react is now a different story, because that can cause more problems. You're going to react positively or negatively, or you're going to allow the words to mean something to you. It's all in your power. It's up to you how you want things to affect you. So you can choose. Are you going to let the situation get to you? Or are you going to address it in a positive way? Because some situations we can't walk away from. We have to deal with it. But how we deal with it, that is what matters. That really is what matters. So, I don't know if you have any thoughts about this. How do you think the children will respond?
The children will be responding very good at this, because what I see on Saturday, like honesty and perseverance and merciful, that was out, because they were falling, some of them were falling, and they were helping each other up, and it was just the
hike?
Yeah,
How
it
was
was
the
just the experience for me. It was good.
What did you do?
We hiked.
Just hike. We didn't do any activity.
Yes, on the mountain top.
Okay.
We have a talk.
Okay. What did you
It was
talk
good.
about?
We were talking about this friends that you choose, and then activity was activity 6. We do what is that? Girls can do, boys can do, because there were 7 girls, 7 boys. We were 14. The other one couldn't make it, but it was something else. It was really good. For me, it was good because I was seeing that in the group, in the space, there were somebody else, but outside, it's just I care. Ek is daar vir my medebroer, ek is daar vir my medesuster. So dit is vir my was dit goed om te kan sien dat die kinders is daar vir mekaar.
And do you think what you have done so far is impacting him?
Yeah.
So it's coming through.
Want alle het regtig, daar is goedes wat jy kan sien. Hulle het verander. en 'n manier want kyk as ons nou nie net ons in die park wat hytjie as ons nou ander mense ook so jy kan net die pad net staan vir groot mense jy kan opstaan op die bankie okay so dit gebruikies maar net die woorde soos jy daar gebruik jy sê kyk eens wie so rondom jou voordat sy so dit was vir my like ek het observe so alai dat vir my baie geleer ook.
And how does it make you feel when you see your hard work is there's positive fruits from your hard work?
Dit vir my is dit like dis wil vir my nou ek wil nog meer vir hulle doen want ek sien hulle ons het opgeëindig by goals wat hulle wil set want hulle is op die mountain want hulle gesien is difficult om te loop ek is nog hulle getuig van die paaie jy kies 'n pad as die al die paaie wat dieselfde is toe maak ek dit nou eenvoudig want daar's gate in die paaie so toe moet ons nou mekaar ja op een moet die een aan een se hand vat om oor te kom en so en nou ek vir hulle verduidelik dat hulle op die einde van die dag het iemand vir hulle nodig aan buitekant en hulle het net vir my is dit net ek weet nie maar dit is vir my was my amazing want dit is dit en hulle wil meer hê en toe hulle gesê hulle kan nie wag vir die next sessie nie.
Okay, that's good.
They can't wait for the next session because they see this thing is going somewhere because they already set out their goals. We are going to the hospital and we're going to the old age home. It was net ja, hy wat ek wil hê. Hulle moet dink, dit moet nie net oor hulle gaan nie. Dit moet gaan oor daar's iemand wat iets 'n brood het by die huisie. Jy kom millennial in jou huis en bak 'n brood. Gee vir jou medemens. So ons lekker gepraat. Dit was so baie lekker. Al was ek seer, maar hulle het vir my ewen stokke gemaak om my te hou, om vir my te help op. So dit was vir my, ja. Dit was seer, maar ek het uitgekom.
That's good. That is so you had two very positive experiences coming out of this.
Just sessions.
These sessions, sorry. Which is really, I mean, that's the point. The point is that you must see how change happens. You must see how choosing differently changes situation.
Even the parents were also like, Junaid, this is great that you are doing. Thank you for being there for our children. And I was like, ek het nog nie meer gesit die auntie. But it is fine, yeah.
But now you can see how just by helping them build their self-esteem and making positive choices, it trickles off into the home. And the home environment can be better. And hopefully the parents will learn and they'll also start to make positive changes. So each one can reach one. And that is the point. So giving like practical examples, as you can see now, really does help. It really helps them a lot. It will guide them and make them think a lot about how important it is to have positive attributes, positive people, and changing your attitude to a positive one. How important it is. Okay, so activity 20 is about personal success page. That will be 15 minutes. So you will do goal setting. Where to begin to be able to set a goal? You need to know what it is that you want. And this is the main thing. What do you want in order to set a goal? Okay, so they need to think what it is do they want to achieve in life. What do they actually want? You need to think. What is it that you want to achieve in life? Because you're never too old to achieve what you plan, of course. You're only old when you die. Or when you die, then it's too late. But up until then, it's never too late. Okay, so you start with things you enjoy. So you must tell them in your workbook, write down 5 things you enjoy in your life. And then can you identify any goals to help you reach or to keep those things that you enjoy in life. Then you start from smaller goals and move to bigger ones. Think about the things you want to change, improve, or grow in immediately. Call these your short-term goals. In your workbook, write down 5 short-term goals, then write down the steps or actions you can take to achieve the short-term goals. So now they've now been equipped with all these positive thinking words. They need to use that to help them set the goals that they want. First think about what it is they want to do. Then they need to see what can they identify to get to where they want to be, to enjoy life. Because when you are happy and you are working towards your goal and you start achieving your goals, you start having a happy life. But it starts with you and your choices and your attitude towards your choices. And then always remind them they must start small attainable goals. If today I decide my goal for this week is to try and think positively, it's difficult. But it's achievable. If just for this week, every time there's a situation, talk to yourself, think positively, think positively, think positively. By the end of the week, you assess, did I think positively every time there was a situation? Yes. Or no, not all the time, but I did more positive thinking than negative. So now they achieve their goal. Or if they decide, okay, this week I'm going to try and not eat any sugar. So you want to start losing weight. Now you start by reducing your sugar, okay? And normally you take 2 sugars in your coffee or tea. Now I'm going to take 1 sugar. Okay, by Wednesday, have I taken only 1 sugar? Yes. Okay, let's see, can I make it to Friday? Okay, those are short-term goals. And you'll see, once you start achieving your short-term goals, it will make you more excited and make you see that your long-term goals, your bigger goals, are achievable. You just need to have step processes towards your goals. You can't just immediately jump towards your big goal. But you can get there one step at a time. So like how do you eat the elephant in the room? Piece by small piece. So that's the only way to achieve anything. Small piece by piece. So if you have a situation or you have something you need to do, don't be overwhelmed by the enormity of it. Don't be overwhelmed by, oh, there's so much to do. How am I going to just breathe and take it one step at a time. Plan your time, breathe, and take it step by step. Because if you just think of the whole thing, it's going to overwhelm you. But if you take it one step at a time, you'll start achieving. You'll start getting through it and getting towards doing the big thing. So think about what you don't want. In your workbook, so remember you're telling them all this. In your workbook, write 5 to 10 things you don't want. Then turn them around to become goals. For example, change I don't want to be stuck at home into a goal of I want to go to other places. So this is also an important thing, is how you phrase things, how you say things. If you say it in a negative context, it's going to stay like a negative thing in your mind. But if you change it, or you say it, or you look at it in a positive context, how you think about it, how you react to it will also start changing into a positive way. So instead of saying, I'm so broke, I can't get what I want or what I need, start thinking about, okay, this is what I have, how much of what I need can I get? So it's just about re-looking at a situation, rewording it, refocusing it in your mind. Stop making it look like a negative thing. Let it become a positive thing or a goal you can work towards. Like think, okay, I don't have enough money to pay all the bills. What else can I do to get that extra money to pay the bills? Maybe I have a hobby that I can turn into a secondary income. Maybe I make fit cook. I can sell fit cook just to make up that little money that I need. Maybe I can do this, do that. So try and look for positive ways instead of saying, I'm so broke, how am I going to get through what I need to do? But look at it as, what can I do to get to where I need to be? So it's all about perspective. And they need to understand their negative things they can actually turn into goals. Right? So that's the point of this activity. Goals can be made about lots of different areas in your life. Think about personal qualities, friendships, family, career, physical health, interests, hobbies, attitudes. So, remember I said this is holistic. It deals with your physical, your spiritual, your emotional, your mental health. So, your goals that you set, they need to understand it can be around all these different aspects. It doesn't just have to be about the physical appearance or about school or whatever. It can be about the qualities, about the friendships they have, about creating better family relationships, about the career that they want to achieve, physical health, what the interests and hobbies are, and the attitude towards people. So if they identify that they have a terrible attitude, right? They bitchy, they rude, they just say for money type of attitude. Is that something that they want to keep doing, or do they maybe see that as something that they can change? So that negative thing can become a goal. They can turn it around into a goal and say, I'm going to try and be kinder, nicer, more positive. Be someone that other people look up to instead of being scared of. So do you want to be famous or notorious? So notorious means you're famous in a negative way. You're a drug dealer. Everybody knows you, but for the wrong thing. Or you are a star athlete. Everybody knows you for the good thing that you did. So do you want people to know you for the bad or the good?
The good.
The good. So then use that as a goal to work towards. These are the types of practical examples you need to use from the community to make them see being famous in a notorious way is not a positive thing. Because most times I think money is everything, but is it really? Do you want people to be scared of you?
No.
Or do you want people to want to be around you because of who you are and how you make them feel? It's like I worked at Woolworths, and there was this lady. Whenever she came to me, I would just feel this calmness because it was a very stressful time. And she would sometimes, come and pop around and talk to you. Like, you're taking a break and you go speak to your friends, whatever. And she would come, and whenever she would come around me, I would just feel like so calm, so like this peace that came over me. And afterwards, it wasn't even about what we spoke. It was just like an order or something just made me feel calm and relaxed and unstressed. And then I just found myself always wanting to be around her. Even if we didn't speak, just to be around her, just to have that calming effect over me, man, that presence, So, do you want to be that person to somebody else?
Yes.
Won't that be a nice thing if people say, they want to be around you because you just make them feel so calm. You calm them. The stuff you say just encourage and calm. calms them. They just want to be in your presence. They just want to be your friends. They just want to talk to you. Do you want that? Or do you want people to cower in a corner and be scared because you're going to give them dirty looks, or you're going to say something that's going to make them feel so small? Yes, you might have power, but do you want power from people being scared? Or do you want power from people wanting to honor you and be around you? So those are the type of choices they need to start making now to build the character of notorious or famous. So it really is up to them. And then you need to instruct the participants to write a letter to themselves on a piece of paper that they need to fold up and put away. And then a year later they need to go back and look at it. So they need to put it in a safe place. Write a letter about who do they actually want to be. What are the goals they actually want to achieve? Almost like a time capsule type of concept, but only for a year. And then next year they must go, and a year flies by very quickly. And then next year go back and say, did I achieve these things? Am I a better person? Am I the person that I wrote in this letter I want to be? And maybe it's a goal you need to set for yourself also. Am I really the person I want to be? Do I really have positive character traits? How do I interact with people? How do I react in situations? Do people know me for being rude and touchy, and or do people know me for being fair and kind and understanding in situations? But remember, you set the boundaries, you show people how to treat you. So yes, you can be kind and whatever, but you need to put the boundaries and make them understand. You might be kind, but don't take advantage. I don't stand for this, and I don't stand for disrespect, and I don't stand for that. So if you want to act like that, then I'm not going to speak to you or deal with you. Make them understand where the boundary is. You're going to be kind, you're going to be nice, but that's where you draw the line with how you allow them to treat you.
I have to draw the line. What do you think, Lumbego?
Yes, we have to draw the line.
Okay, any questions, any thoughts?
That was great for today.
Okay. I hope that this helps you have a positive week.
I
As
will
you implement what you learn.
It's really.
But like this is what I'm doing every year. Always, January, I always write my things that I need to achieve end of the year. And then end of the year, I just take my page, my diary, and see what did I do. Even if I didn't do all, but I'm like, nothing else for me. And I check this and this. It's not like I did not check none of those. At least maybe 1 or 2 I check.
Yeah.
So now, today I aim that in life as well. I can do the same thing. January, that me, I will be like this and this and this and this and see every year if did I do that or just people they change me. I'm like fuck.
Because situations can change.
Can change you, yeah.
It can make you learn better lessons and decide to become terrible.
People can change.
You know, hurtful experience can make you decide nobody's gonna hurt me again. Or you can decide to, yes, that was a painful experience. I'm not gonna allow people to treat me that way again. But and I'm not gonna let that stop me from being a good, positive person, because that person influences more people. That person touches more people. So that the situation and the person who hurt me might really have broken me, but I can choose to let it break me, or hold me. It's all your choice. Okay, all the best for this week.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah, this
much.
week.